feeling we taking it all the way. I gotta get to the Hall of Fame. Been on the ground with a small delay. That's what it takes when you on your job. I'm working till everything fall in place. Like nah, we not gonna fall today. Like nah, we not gonna fall today. Like oh yeah, beanie up Scotty, we going up crazy. Yeah, me and my posse. When it's time to get it, we body to body. Cause bodies get left when we leave the party. Don't get me started, don't make me get out of character. That make you turn to a target. Dearly departed, making a scene like Martin. We up in the scores and the margins. Hey, yeah.
What it do, everybody? What it do? It's your boy Rod. Welcome to Points Blank Experience and welcome to the classroom, man. We got a topic, and no, I'm not going to be alone. My co-host had to take care of something real quick, and she should be back momentarily. But I want to thank everyone for tapping in. I see we got 3 real homies in the crib, and we got a great show lined up for y'all tonight. We are going to be talking about, has church changed over the years? Well, we know, at least I feel that it's changed. So we may dig a little deeper and see how has it changed. And we're not here to be bashing and putting stuff down. We're not here for that. We're here to have fun, maybe go back to some of the old days. But at the end of the day, we will be opinionated. It's going to be Rod's opinion. It's going to be Keisha's opinion. But we are going to be respectful by all means. I just wanted to say that. I'm going to go ahead and bring my co-host up. I think she's ready and I'm ready. What it do? What it do? How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
So everything's situated. You looking lovely tonight. Looking lovely.
Well, thank you very much.
And I had an echo, man. I want to apologize. I had a little echo going on because I had some in the background, and but hopefully that didn't disturb people. I see we got the Nichols in the house. We got House of X Entertainment in the crib. We got Shay's Adventure in the house, and I want to thank everyone for tuning in. And we're going to jump into this, yo. We're going to be talking about, again, has church changed over the years? You know, and I'm going to let Keisha start this out. But before we get into that, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that thumbs up button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share this out. We really need max participation from the audience tonight, from the people that are in the comments. Also, subscribe to Just Asking for a Friend. Please, this series alternates. This week is on my channel on Tuesday at 7:05. Next week it will be on Just Asking for a Friend's channel at 7:05. We're alternating weeks, so we will be repeating it. But I'm gonna go ahead and Keisha, what are your thoughts? What you want to start with this? Has church changed over the years?
Well, I want to start off by asking the question, like, do you feel like pastors are judged too harshly?
I would say yes.
Okay. Well, the reason why I asked was because I believe his name is Jamal Bryant's wife had went to some kind of fundraiser and she had on a dress. Now it had nude underneath. Now it wasn't, where it was see-through. It's that material that looks like skin, but it ain't skin. And she had that on. And the dress, I feel like, fit her perfectly, but she was kind of like dragged in church for, wearing this dress. She didn't wear it to church or anything like that. It was an outside event. And they, they were getting on him about what his wife was wearing.
Yeah, he got very defensive too. I mean, he got very defensive with the people and whoever was there. And in my opinion, and please, y'all jump in here and give us your opinion. But in my opinion, no, she didn't wear that to church. And I saw the pictures. I saw it from a distance because I didn't see the skin like. It just looked like skin to me. And with that, I think pastors are held on a higher pedestal. Should they be? They're human. At the end of the day, they're human. But I see where you don't expect to see the pastor's wife or the first lady, which is how I was raised, coming into any type of event, whether it's almost skin, near skin, or no skin, no clothes, whatever you want to call it, and showing what looked like to be a pair of underwear underneath. It gave the wrong image. That's my opinion. So what do you think?
Well, whether she should have wore it or not, she wore it, and, I did like the way that he did defend his wife. He got up there and said, hey, y'all talking about her wearing the dress. I bought the dress. So, you know, if you want to criticize anybody, criticize me. And it's another thing. Like, I feel like, you know, she might have been bullied a little bit. Like, bullying should not go on in the church, you know, because, you know, you don't know how that affects someone's self-esteem.
Right.
You know, one, you feel like, I mean, if I was in her shoe, I would feel like, wow, you know, I probably let my husband down a little bit. You know, I may have took, you know, a risk that I probably shouldn't have taken, and now he's getting backlash and all that over a dress.
That's what I wondered. What was her thoughts? I mean, I don't even believe she even. Maybe he wanted her to wear that. We don't know. We weren't there. Maybe that was the outfit she chose, but it seemed like one of them would have said, "Man, I don't think this is a good idea right here," because the image was not good. You know, we can shake and bake it. I agree. Yes, he defended his wife, but I don't even think she should have been in a position to be defended, and he shouldn't have been put in a position to have to defend her. I don't know how it got to that point, but that's where I just say, what made him do this? You know, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Well, I mean, looking at the dress, they had to know somebody was gonna say something. They might have an attitude like Keisha. I don't care what they say, you know. So, you know, it just depends.
Yeah. You know, now, and I'm gonna hold off before I pull that up, but saying do pastors get judged too harshly? I think at the end of the day, they're human. And I think people forget that. People think that they're out of body something, but they're going to have emotions. They're going to have reactions. They're going to have feelings. And I'm not talking about Jamal. I'm talking about other pastors that may say something or may use profanity or may look a certain way at a woman or a male, depending on whether it's a male or female pastor.
And speaking of looking at somebody in some way, did you see that pastor when the girl walked by? I can't remember what he said. It was good Lord, or I don't know what he said. He said something pertaining to the lady. You know, she was a shapely lady, and I mean, he did everything but drool.
Hold on, let me see something.
Scripture is found. Wait a minute, look at here, boy, look at here.
Is that what you talking about?
Yes, sir.
You found that?
You try to act like you've been saved all your life.
Now I want to stop right there. I'm gonna take that off. I'm gonna slow that down and I'm gonna play it again for the people in the back. So you have a pastor that's in the pulpit getting ready to preach or preaching, and this lady walked by. I guess he got tongue tied. He said, "Look at here," and he said, "Woo, Lord have mercy." And then I guess he looked out in the congregation and said, "Don't act like you've been saved all your life."
Okay. Okay, but we are in a church. Like, that was totally inappropriate. Let's talk about it. That was so inappropriate. And then, you know, you don't know how she felt because you're basically, you know, sensualizing me. I ain't gonna say the S word, but you're basically sensualizing me. You know, she may have been a little embarrassed. You know, you can't even get up and walk in church no more.
And from what I saw, maybe he had, I don't know, because from what I saw, the dress was not inappropriate.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, nothing was out.
It was not form. It didn't look form fit. I mean, the woman has a shape. You know, you don't want to go anywhere with your clothes falling off. So could he have been out of line?
Yeah. Oh, he was out of line. Ain't
totally out of line. But I mean, it almost like he was waiting on somebody to get up. You know, just.
And the fact that he said, "Don't act like y'all been saved all your life." Well, you supposed to be saved at this moment, sir. So why are you doing that?
Yeah, that's what I say. You know, and like, I'm not going to stay on this too long, but if a pastor's being judged, I mean, are they allowed to have a glass of wine or a cocktail? Oh. But you let you let some of the people from the congregation see that. That's going to be the talking to next Sunday. I mean,
well, I don't know. sometimes you just gotta ignore that congregation because they're gonna talk regardless. You know, they're gonna find something wrong with every little thing that the pastor wife, don't let her get a wife that look halfway decent. It's gonna be a whole problem. Hey, grateful.
All right. What's up, Big Murph? What's up, Grateful? House of X? Why loves the motivate? I'm just going to speak to everyone is in here. And then when I get to a comment, House of X said, those same people that talk about pastors and first ladies are no better. Amen. Amen. You know, and House of X, thanks for saying that, because the realistically, at least in my experience, y'all, and this is Rod and Keisha's opinion. Please don't, we ain't up here trying to convince nobody, and this is just my opinion. But from my growing up, it's almost like the people, notice those same people in this comment, the people are waiting and looking for the pastor and the first lady to do something wrong. They can't, I mean, any little thing. Oh man, he walked by a dice game. Well, how else was he supposed to get home? They just happened to be playing dice on the sidewalk by his house. Oh, pastor took a second look. I think he used to play dice back in the day. Maybe he did. A changed man now, changed woman, whatever, you know. So yeah, I think they be judged. Now, next thing I want to talk about, and I had a conversation with a person about this, y'all. This here. Now, we already kind of laid out on it, but let's talk about this inappropriate dress. We got 8 real homies in the crib. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the share it out, whatever, and put some comments here. I'm about to get back over here to them, but inappropriate dress. I was talking to somebody, and they really threw me for a loop, because I was thinking, now I got a whole lot of opinions on this one, but I was thinking that with the new quote unquote dress codes of the land, not just the church, but of the land that seem to be bleeding over, that I would see, and not me, not Rod, but people would see more skin and more stuff. But from what I was told as I had this conversation with this individual, which happened to be a guy, he was saying since they've quote unquote loosened the dress code, he sees less. What are your thoughts on that, Keisha?
Well, I don't know, but I don't know. I can't speak for nobody church but my own. And I don't really see anybody like, you know, getting out of line with the dress code. But I have seen some clips where you know, women wear certain things to church and in funerals too. You know, I don't know about that one, because for the simple fact that, you know, I personally don't like to tell people how to dress. Back in the day, when a woman had a short dress or, you know, was showing something, the usher would come around and give you what is called a prayer cloth, and they would put it in your lap to cover up, you know, if your dress was too short or whatever, you had to put it in your lap or whatever. I think we have definitely gotten away from the old ways. You know, now they come in and nobody really says nothing. And I think we've become accustomed to how people dress, and, you know, it doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't bother me, but it may bother some that, you know, they're in their dress. However, but the Bible do say, "Come as you are."
Yeah, and that's what I want to get on. And while Loves to Motivate said, definitely put her on the spot for show. And the nickels, I'm going to hit this one, but I'm going to go back on that put on the spot. Now, that's in the church. All the attention has to be taken off of God. I'm going to hit that one second, but well, Keisha and I both. Now, I ain't going to sit here and say it ain't going to bother me, because I'm human. Now, if everybody in there with the shout and they run out of prayer cloths, as you call them, it could be a distraction. I ain't saying it will be, but if it's a whole lot, if they ran out of prayer cloths, I mean, there's a whole lot of people in there with some short skirts on. And I might be like, you're trying to hear the word, but it's a lot going on around you. Now, looking at this, I like what the nickel said. That's in the church. All the attention has been taken off of God. And that's...
She got a good point.
Yeah, because some of the stuff I'd have seen, you forget what psalm being read, what scripture, whether I'm supposed to be standing up or sitting down, because there's too much going on. Now, let me say is that today's church, or has this been going on for years? It's just been slowly creeping up on us.
Right, because I mean they had prayer cloths back in the day, so I don't really think. I think maybe the style of dress has changed, but they had to give out them prayer cloths back then too. So,
hey, House of X say building saints where people are the church. Yes, you're there where their leaders should govern yourself. Yeah, you know, and back I didn't know what it meant. But I now I do. But when I was a little boy, my mom was in charge of the announcements, and I knew what she was going to say because she practiced. She was like, you know, I don't even hear this no more. I'm gonna say that for later. But the last thing she would say was govern yourselves accordingly. I didn't know what that meant. I'm 6, 7 years old. But what they're saying here, it's not really what the leader is doing. We all pretty much know the difference between right and wrong. You know, but going back to what the Nichols said, I really shouldn't be there for the fashion show. I shouldn't be there to see what Shirley and Bertha got on. And yeah, I'm using some old school names. I shouldn't be worried about is Timmy's suit too short or too tight. I don't care about all that. I need to be worried about, am I getting the word? And if I pass out when I walk up out of here, I don't want the last thing I've been done is trying to see through Shirley's skirt.
not Shirley's skirt.
So I don't be there for all that. I'm being real. And I know half the people here probably don't even believe me, but I don't be there for all the fashion show and the stuff I can see Saturday night, Sunday morning, or whatever day I go, Thursday night, Wednesday Bible study. I'm there for the word. Yeah, let's get these thumbs up. I appreciate that. Those people are Judas. Okay. So, just asking the music. You think the music at the church, man?
Well, you know, the music got to change with the times. I actually like the music nowadays. Shoot, I love me some Dietrich Haddon. I know you're gonna talk about my boy, Kurt Franklin. I love, man. They accidentally was playing Kurt Franklin in the club. Stomp. Like, y'all know there's a church star. That's a church song. You know what I'm saying?
In California, they in there, man. I ain't know whether, I don't even know if I know how to shout probably, but I ain't know whether to do the prep or just stand there and pray. They was in there, GP, are you with me? You know, I don't think they know what song this is. That was when it first came out. But talking about Kirk and music, man. Now, I know when I grew up, they made up words to the song. The song had words, but then, you know, I think if anybody here don't remember the song, I know it was The Blood. You know, that song was the first original remix. That song could go on for 20 minutes if you let it. You know, I remember in my church when they ran out of word, they just said, he never said a mumbling word. You know, huh? I don't see it. But Kirk Franklin talked. And then it should have been, his name should have been at the end. It should have been God's Property and Kirk Franklin, not Kirk Franklin and God's Property. Because he'd be up there, I sing because I'm happy. And then they'd be blowing.
He was the hype man. It was like Lil Jon and the East Side Boys.
Okay. MC Hammer had a hype man. I bet don't nobody remember his name. I do.
No, we don't know him.
Too Big MC. He was the hype man. Hammer, go. Oh, yo, we talk about church, but I'm just giving you an example. And then Hammer come out there, let's get it started. You know, it wasn't Too Big MC and MC Hammer featuring. No, that dude had no name in this. Kirk, I like what he doing. Can he sing? I ain't never heard him sing.
Don't give me the line. I heard him talk, but I've never heard him sing. You know, he was in trouble a while back. I think he cursed his son out or something like that.
Yeah, he ain't the first. That's what I'm saying. He ain't the first.
He ain't gonna be the last either.
All right, so Big Murph said they're definitely not dressing modestly like they did back in the day, both men and women. And while those motivated said yes, she's agreeing with Big Murph. And Grateful said yes, asking for a friend. Now I like this here. we ain't been pronouncing this word right, even though the people that watch the replay and the people here now may not see that invisible R, but the Urshers, not the ushers, the Urshers used to do that. You were right about that. I don't remember them days. I must have been a little boy.
I don't remember the prayer cloth?
I probably wasn't looking for it, man. My mama probably would have slapped me until the next pew if I'd have been looking at the prayer cloth.
So let me ask you a question. Do you feel like churches go out and do what they used to do back in the day? Like, for instance, churches used to go out and they would go into the community and they would feed the community and things like that, because there was a young lady who had like a recording of a baby crying in the background. I don't know if anybody saw this, but she had a baby crying in the background, and she was calling the different churches and she was asking them, could they give her, a can of formula for her baby. Now, it would seem like, these pastors would be trying to break their neck, especially when you hear she talking about the baby ain't ate, the baby hadn't had anything to drink all day, hadn't had any milk. And it just seemed like they were unbothered. It's not their problem. She called and the pastor was saying that that they have a food pantry, but it's only for their members. And I thought that was so low down for a pastor to turn away a young mother with a starving child and say that, yeah, you got the milk, but you don't want to give it to me because it's only for your members. And then it was another phone call where the guy said that they don't do that or whatever. But even if you didn't do it, like say the food pantry was only for your members, it seemed like you would take the money out of your pocket. If you're supposed to be a man of the cloth, if you're supposed to be, a pastor, and you're supposed to care, that's like one of the job requirements is to care about others. It would seem like even if I had to take the money out of my pocket, then I would make sure that baby had some milk. I just thought that was so low down. What did Big Murph say?
Yeah, I'm gonna get to Big Murph, but addressing what you just said, and that I've never heard or anything. I know it happens, but member or no member, family or no family, if I see a child that's starving, just my human nature, I don't care if I'm a man, a woman, black, white, I don't care. My human nature is not going to allow Rod to do that, to see a starving child. Regardless of what building you walk in, and then to piggyback on your point, to walk into a church. And on the flip side of that, you do have churches. Now, I think that it's becoming smaller, a number of churches that are actually going out helping the community. I'm not saying all. There are a lot of churches that still go out and help, feed the homeless and give to the people that may be the less fortunate. I remember back in the day when my mom would read the announcements, they'd call out the sick and shut in, as they used to call it. And people would go after service and go by the hospital and see that person. Some of the people didn't even know him. They just go by there and pray for him. But I think a lot of that has started to happen because the churches have gotten too big. And I'm going to put, as far as a con, because I have several pros, but I also have some cons, I'm going to also look at the online church situation. Who's going to leave their home if they're watching church online when they talk about the sick and shut in and go to the hospital? It's not the same. It to me is just a different feel. That's so I agree with what you said. I didn't mean to be long-winded with that, but that right there, just humanity should have stepped in.
Well, she the only church, it was two churches out of all those churches she called that would help, and those two were in the hood. Like the lady was she was so distraught that the baby was crying in the background that she asked her, she said, well, where can I meet you? Can I just come to you and bring you the milk? So I mean, I have to give big ups to those churches, because I just thought that was so messed up on so many levels that you would hear a baby crying in the background and would be just so unbothered to tell her that, yeah, we got the milk, but we're not going to give it to you. Like, that's just crazy.
That remind me of that song. A lot of people think about the greens, the beans, the potatoes, the ham, but if you listen to that song, Shirley Caesar, Hold My Mule, and Hopping John or Dancing John. I know his name was John, who the deacons went out to his house and said, "You can't come. You dance too much. You're too loud. You're too this." Okay, he went to praise God. He didn't go there to see what everybody thought about him or how they looked at him, you know. But hey, man, that's a sad story there. Thanks for bringing that up, Keisha. It's hard to correct folks nowadays because of the "who gonna check me, boo" mindset. No one like to be held accountable anymore, so they allow them to do and dress how they want. Just my opinion. Again, y'all, this is everyone's opinion. No one here is trying to be right or wrong or force anything. We're just having a discussion. So please, hopefully no one get upset by any comments or what Keisha may say, Rob may say, or vice versa. So,
or anything in the comment section either. You know, their opinion is their opinion.
Right. And while there's motivate said the music be rocking. Yeah, and you know, like I remember, speaking of that comment right here, the music be rocking. I remember, I'm gonna say now, before a song come on, it's like, "Hey, come on, church, you got the hype, man. Come on, church, everybody get on your feet, and it do be rocking." But I remember the day where it be, you know, you got a person that walk up there and they said first giving honor to God, pastor, first lady, members, and friends. They acknowledged everybody like that. You know, I ain't gonna say like they was in a live stream, but they just acknowledged the whole church. They didn't say everybody get on your feet, and then they may ask for a little prayer. I never understood that because usually there was someone that could sing, but now, and then I got to hear all these instruments and stuff, and man, I can't even hear the words, man. They mix it and scratch it, and I want to hear, I don't know, man, Amazing Grace or something. You know, I need some for real Amazing Grace.
You gonna have to go to one of them old churches. But I think the new music is entertaining. Like, shoot, some folks go just for the concert. But no, for real though. I mean, like it is. The music is, I feel like it's better. I mean, you still have you still have people singing like the older song, but they don't put a twist on it. They don't remix those where they upbeat, you know.
What I do like about the new music is I do feel, again, my opinion, that it did, when it first evolved into that, it brought the younger generation into the church. I grew up, and yes, I like the older music now, but when I was a youngster, I didn't really understand half the stuff they were saying because it was more of a older spiritual vibe. Now the songs kind of make it clear what's going on. Even I like some of the rap gospel, the gospel rap or whatever they call it. I think it helps with getting the younger generation into the church and off the streets and saying, hey, you can go somewhere and have fun with that without having what the majority of the population says fun. You can go somewhere where it's not as many people that are having probably more fun. So I do like that. All right, the enemy comes in different forms, shapes, and sizes. If a dress can take you from him, that's what the enemy is going to use. Dress, hat, suit, someone in old clothes, music, etc. And that's a great point. The enemy is going to focus on your weakness. So
yeah. But, people were saying that, women's dress are distractive. A homeless person could walk in. I think it's the person. Like, at some point, you got to hold a person accountable, because I believe that a homeless person can walk in there with holes and looking torn and, and they would get the same attention as that woman that did not have any clothes, that was half dressed. Because, so I think it's up to you to keep your focus on what your focus should be on. I really, if you focus on God, you ain't even paying attention every time somebody walk in what they got on in the first place,
That's what I said earlier. It depends on that individual. And I guarantee you, in my mind, in a way, the last thing that a homeless person walking into a church is thinking about who got what on. They're probably trying to get some type of faith in their life, or some assistance, or some food, or something.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm not talking about the homeless person is worried about what everybody got on. I'm saying that people would stop and probably stare at what he has on, how he how he's being presented because, he doesn't have, that nice suit on or that, or she doesn't have a nice dress, So it would probably take away the same, attention as it would for, a lady that's half dressed. So like I said, it's on that person to stay focused and stay on the word.
Now, one thing that I was thinking about was online churches. Churches, when you go to church, and I think during the pandemic, everybody was kind of forced to go online or not do anything. There are pros and cons, and I'm just going to throw out a pro that I found beneficial for Rod. There was days where you may not feel well, or you didn't want to spread any germs. You may have a common cold. When they created online church, I didn't have to worry about infecting other people. I could stay at home and still get the word. And that's one of the first pros that came to mind. And kind of, I want to go tit for tat. Can you think of a pro of online church?
Well, yeah, I can think of a lot of them.
Go ahead. Go ahead and take me
Hold on, y'all. My Bluetooth coming out. Okay. But okay, so I could think of say I know some people that are disabled, and when they came up with the online church, now they can go to church. How sometimes, because you're in a wheelchair, and a lot of people don't have those handicap accessible vehicles, and if you did, you were gonna have to pay an arm and a leg to get to church on Sundays and things like that. And they wanted to be, they wanted to see church too. So if you have it online, they can then too be, in church, and not have to leave the comfort of their home. And then another one is, if you were like me, well, I wish they had it when I was, a younger mother, because when my daughter was younger, them funds was tight. So, and when they would pass around the collection plate, I would feel guilty, because everybody's throwing money in there. And I'm like, how you gotta slick past the, past the tray. And then another, you didn't have to feel guilty about not having it. And then sometimes I wouldn't even go because I'm like, I don't want people to, so it was also a benefit to, people that don't really have the funds, that, don't want to feel guilty about not being able to put anything in that collection plate. And then also the disadvantage would probably be towards the pastors, because they're not actually getting those funds, because you feel some people may be like, well, I'm not in church, so I don't really have to, pay like that. I don't know. They're probably missing some revenue, or it may be different. Maybe it's easier to pay, that you're sitting at home. I don't know. It's a 50-50. You either gonna not get as many tithes or in offerings, or you might get more. I don't know.
I like what you said about the younger mother, and that's a great point. And that's one of the things I had that was a pro, is less stress when it comes to monetary things. Like I've seen people that when that collection plate come around, I've seen people pretend they were putting money in there. I've seen people have the worst look on their face because they maybe wanted to give and couldn't. I've yet to see anyone that was just super excited because the collection plate just rolled past. I've never seen it. It was always an uncomfortable feeling if someone couldn't give. So I definitely agree that online church, and you may not have it on Sunday. You may not get paid till Tuesday. And you can go online and go on a website and pay your offering or your tithes, whatever you need to do. So I definitely agree with that. And I'm thinking about clothes, going back to that homeless man. Now, a homeless man may not have access to the internet. Let's be real. But if by chance all he had was some holy pants and a holy shirt that was soiled and dirty, maybe he had a relative that did have internet, he at least could get some sense of worship. Mm-hmm. Maybe not the entire feeling that he would get in the church house, but some sense. So, but for me, I got to think about some of the cons for Rod. I ain't speaking about no, I'm going to tell y'all what I was experiencing. And I'm an open book. I'm transparent. When I was going to Service at home, it was just too comfortable for your boy. I'm gonna tell you, number one, I could get up whatever I wanted to. I can go to this room, go outside, I can go see if the squirrels out there and come back. And you really can't. Oh, I didn't even know, man. I thought you were just listening to me.
I'm sorry. I missed everything you said then. But go ahead. Go ahead. I'll catch up.
So I was wondering, I thought you were just listening. So I got too comfortable at home. That was one of the problems I had. And I remember being in church, and somebody helped me out in the comments. Notice I'm not reading many of them. I'm pulling them up. If someone have a question, I'll read it. When I was a kid and you got up in church, you had to do this. I don't know what that one finger meant. Anybody know what the one finger meant? Was that like?
Excuse me.
Oh, is that what it meant? Oh, I just know they used to tiptoe and stuff. I was like, man, I don't know what's going on. I ain't leaving because there's too much going on to leave. But another thing, at home, when I was going to church online, distractions. If your phone go off in church, boy, it's almost like you just robbed Wells Fargo. Hey, turn that phone. Whose phone is that ringing? Oh, Lord have mercy. You know, it's just going to be a hoopla. But if I'm at the crib, I'm going to answer it. You ain't answering no phone in church. What my mama used to say, it better be God calling.
Okay. Well, you know what? They play games in church now. Everybody had a phone. Like, you know, when the phones first came out, you know, you couldn't be in church with them phones. Now, shoot, them folks be all on their phone, looking at Facebook while they supposed to be listening to the pastor, strolling and everything else. And the kids be having their darn tablets, you know, watching videos. When we were young, you had to sit there and you best not move. And if you move, you gonna regret it later.
If my mama had to pop you in church, that was a mega whooping when we got out. If she had to tap you in church, boy, the super duper whooping was coming when we got home. So another thing, texting, and I'm sorry, man. I'm just y'all, I ain't gonna lie about this. If church ran over and you at church and you missing the football game, you just missing the game. But if I'm at home and I'm watching Pastor on channel 12 and the football game on channel 20, I could go back and forth. I watch a little football, a little pastor, a little football, that ain't right, man. And this is what Rod was doing. I ain't talking about what the people, I'm telling y'all what I was doing. And I was like, so those are the cons I had, but the pros, had I had more discipline, Keisha, it would have worked out. The pros could have outweighed it because gas money, no money, all of that. So, all right, now, one of the things, man, offerings. Do you feel like church is a business now?
Yeah, I mean, some churches make, I don't know, it depends. Yeah, some churches is big business. And then like some of them, they still ran like the older, you know, church or whatever. And I don't know. Well, yeah, because everybody's making a salary. Like, I mean, which I'm not saying that they should not get paid, but I'm saying they're getting loot, you know. So they're making 6-figure salaries. So it's kind of like the goodwill of church, you know, like how the goodwill you donate and I'm still trying to figure out how they nonprofit when they don't do anything, but they don't have nothing to do with the church. I'm just talking about, I don't know how I got on there. But anyway, yeah, I think it is definitely big business. They're getting 6 figures. Everybody's getting paid, the pastor, the deacon, well, you know, the secretary definitely got to get paid. But you know, yeah, it's definitely big business.
So how's
depending on what?
I'm sorry, depending on what?
No, just depending on the size of the church.
You getting mixed up. Church is the people, the building is a temple, and Book Acts, it tells that. Well, that might be true, but I know in Arkansas where I grew up at, the church was the building too. And I get what you're saying, House of X, but what I'm saying, I think what Just Asking for a Friend and I are trying to convey has church, the people, the style, the dress, has all that changed? Whatever we want to call it, whatever we want to title it, how we want to word it, but has that changed from maybe when we were younger? And I would say yes. Is it all for the better? Probably not. Is it all for the worse? Probably not. But has it changed and helped a lot of people? I think it has, the way it has evolved.
Right. And then the pastors, some of them have like helicopters and jets and things like that. And I'm like, what they got to do with church? You know, why they can't get on the airplane like everybody else? Why you got to have a whole jet? You know how much it costs to fuel one of them bad boys up? So, I mean, yeah, it's definitely big business for some churches.
Yeah, and I think people, when I think about the jets and the limo, I saw a video of a pastor coming back from a sabbatical.
Mhm.
He was in the back seat of a car, like a Benz or something, pulled up, and at the church, and not for a service. It's just like it was a video. It was on social media, and I was like, "Wow, this is blowing my mind." I didn't know they did stuff like this. But I think that's getting caught up in that. I forgot. Oh, I know the word I'm trying to. That maybe more secular. You know, not that they're watching this or paying attention, but wanting to have a helicopter and a private jet has got to be coming from somewhere. I mean, what's making people want to do that is my question. But that's right. Just asking, you better sit there and be quiet or get popped. And hey, Big Merv, Shay speak. All right. But it's so. I was a problem in my, but it so was a problem in my church. Pastor was addressing it this past Sunday. When their phones is definitely a distraction. Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah, they be on there on Facebook. I see them. They just a strolling, like they ain't even in. What you come to church for, man? Bruh says if you wasn't gonna pay attention, like you could have stayed on at the house and watched it on TV. So yeah.
And while there's a motivation, that's the pastor's fund paying for it. All the darn funds they have at these churches. Shaking my head, and that was on my list.
The fun.
That building fund, man. That building fund.
They ain't built nothing on yet. It's been 10 years. They've been collecting money for that building fund. Ain't not a brick been put down. Nothing. So.
Now, I've seen the last church I went to, they did add to it quite often. But
okay.
I definitely agree that the funds have gotten a little more outrageous. You know, the pastor's fund, but I heard, is there a homeless fund now? Is there
I ain't heard that one yet. I ain't heard the homeless fund. They have one?
I ain't never heard of one.
Oh, I thought you were saying they done brought out some new stuff. Okay, my bad. I was like,
I'm thinking about the old day, like the building fund, the pastor's fund, the anniversary fund, and you know, and again, it's just my opinion, though, and I'm not the only one saying it. All the darn funds they have all at these churches. There's someone in the comments saying that. So I think at the end of the day, it's easy to say that church has definitely changed, but I can't sit here and say it's for the worse. Well, what about you, Just Asking? Or Keisha, I'm gonna quit saying this, Just Asking for a Friend. Your name right there. So,
yeah.
Keisha, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I think churches. I mean, they have definitely evolved. So I do like the fact that you can go online, and I do like the music. Contrary to some people's opinion of the music, I like the new music. You know, even back in the day, you had good pastors and you had bad pastors. So, you know, that's not going to change. You just got to, you know, be cautious of what you're seeing with your own two eyes. You know if you got a pastor bling or not. So that's my opinion on it.
I think you just said it best. You know, if we do focus on the pastor, let's remember that the pastor or the pastors or the male or the female pastor, whatever, They're human. Let's start there. They're human. And they, from my understanding, they're delivering the word. They're not the one that's going to be doing the judging and all that. And I'm not really focused. I'm just focused on hearing them. Anything beyond that, what they do after the service, before the service, that's their business. But I think if the church won't, it has changed, but along with the church is changing, going back to what House of X was saying, I think the focus has changed. The focus of, at the end of the day, regardless of whatever your religion may be, if you're in a house of worship, it should be whatever you're worshiping, not the people around you. That's what I get out. Big Murph says, honestly, I haven't heard too much about the building fund, etc. All I hear about is selling plates, and not just chicken plates either. They got the good food for sale. Like what, Big Murph?
Where your church is?
Big Murph in North Carolina. So
okay, you go to North Carolina church. They over there eating good at the church.
I bet you, Big Murph, I don't know, because if they selling plates, maybe it's not a small church, but they go back to what I was saying earlier about the two big churches, because what happened to knowing all the members? Like when I went to a small church, a little small church, and everybody knew everybody. And we knew the people that when they came to visit, everybody, we having visitors, it wasn't going to be that many. People stood up and said the name, the pastor's name, the church home, and all that. Mm-hmm. Now, you don't have no meal after the service. It used to be, I don't remember paying no money when the service was over and you went back to the church kitchen and got a plate of some fried chicken or whatever they had back there, chicken nuggets, whatever they had. I don't remember no cash register, nobody taking no money. Did y'all have that, Keisha?
When in the church that I go to, they still do serve food, but it's not like, it's periodically. It may be like for the pastor's birthday or like Women's Day or Men's Day or something. It's gonna have to be a day.
Right.
So yeah, they do that, but now they don't sell plates and things like that. But I mean, I wouldn't mind it, because shoot, who want to go home and cook?
Yeah, I mean, I could see someone out there say, hey, we're gonna be selling plates next Sunday. I have seen that, and I've seen it go towards a cause. Hey, we're gonna be selling plates next Sunday so we can take the children of the church on a field trip or to the river or whatever. I've seen that, but just to be selling plates, I mean, what are we selling the plates for? Where the money going? That's what I want to know. But again, I don't have time to worry about all that. I mean, if they selling plates, if I choose to buy one, I don't ask Walmart what they do with the money once I buy something in there. I don't ask the Nike store if I get some shoes, what they gonna do with the money. I just buy my shoes and I'm out. So why should I be asking these people? Why? Because they're at the church.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you feel like church has gotten cliquish?
I think church has been cliquish.
Okay. Well, I also think that there's like a class in church. Like you have the people, like I feel like the more you pay in some churches, the more you pay for tithes, the more that you're, I don't know, seen in church or, recognized in church, in some of them. And because I ain't gonna name it, but I know someone that goes to a church and they're very, very clear. It depends on how much you're paying. Like, that person it seems like they get special treatment. And another thing is, like, I want to go back to that, to when we were talking about like things that are going on in the church. There was a guy that needed like his medicine. And this is at the same person I ain't gonna name church. And the guy needed his medicine, but he hadn't paid his tithes in 2 months. Well, I mean, if he needs help paying for his medicine, that's probably why he hadn't paid his tithes in 2 months. And the church said because he hadn't paid his tithes in 2 months, they were not going to be able to help him out, with his medicine. And I felt like that was wrong. The man had been paying all that time. He done missed 2 whole months, and now you won't help him out. He's been a member all this time. You won't help him out with his medicine. So I don't know. It's just some churches. It's big business. If you're paying, then that's fine. We don't mind helping you out. But if you miss a payment, you know, they have no love for you.
It seems like, and I know I'm probably going to make this sound like a perfect world, but it
Hmm.
seems like if you're going back to this status thing, if I have a person and they haven't paid their tithes in 2 months and they need some
Hmm.
medicine, we have a rule that you got to pay your tithes or we can't help you. We have that rule. I didn't make the rule up. But what I am going to do is peel what I call peel back the onion. Sir, do you have any insurance? Probably not, because he wouldn't be at the church trying to get no help.
Hmm.
Sir, were you a veteran? Yes, I was. Well, maybe if you go to the VA and tell them what's going on, and that could take a little time. Sir, do you have a car to get to the VA? He probably ain't got no money because he ain't paid his tithes, can't get his medicine. So I ain't gonna even talk to him about catching no bus or no public transportation. I'm not gonna say that Rod is gonna be the one to take him to the VA. I'm not gonna sit here and say that and make me sound like a superhero. But I may be able to reach out to someone that's retired or doesn't have as much to do as I have to do. But I think so many people are quick to say, no, these are the rules, and they're done. They're done, and it's sad that you're right with the classes. I don't know what class my family was in, but my mother was very active in the church. And I would say we were probably in the middle to upper echelon of the church, if there was one.
Hmm.
But I don't recall, it was so small that we treated anybody any different. But I know you could see it. I think it starts when you pull up in the parking lot. What kind of car are you driving? What kind of car is she driving? Then what kind of shoes are those? What kind of dress is that? What kind of suit is that? And then you could have $1 million suit on and not have $1 in the bank. And then take your little extra money to get to the church so you can get the clout. I just think that's crazy because it's a facade.
Right.
To me, it's a facade. So I definitely, man, the tithing. So it sounds like this church that people go there a lot for, like, they really look up to this church. Like, when I say look up to it, like, it's more than a church. It's like a family, a place of protection, a place where at least this is what they believe or think. I wonder how they got to that point. What made that man feel, well, maybe he knew he had to pay his tithes to get medicine, but
I don't feel like I'm a member. I've been paying all this time. I don't feel like because I missed two payments that you're not gonna help me out. I missed two payments because I need help paying for my medicine. Like, come on now, like, but I don't know. It's just I don't know. The situation was kind of misfiled to me because
you know what it sounds
your
like?
whole job.
No, go ahead. Your whole job is what? I'm sorry.
Your whole job is to go out in the community and help. So your own people say that they need help. I wouldn't care if you sat there and paid the the medicine for me if you felt like maybe they're trying to get over or something. If you had to went and personally paid it for me, then that's fine. But I don't feel like you just turn down someone that needs medicine to live.
You know what this sounds like to me, kids? This sounds like car insurance. You know how you can pay your car insurance for 12 years and you miss 2 payments and get in an accident in between missing the payment. They may have dropped you, although you've been paying them $150 for the last 12 years every month. But something bad happened. Y'all forget my loyalty. I'm not meeting the requirements right now, so you can't help
right.
me. And that's what this sounds like. Well, as a motivator said, I used to be on the bus when I was going to church, catching the bus to go to church. And what,
Yes.
wow. That's, and I like this church.
Oh, you know what? Now, okay, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say when she said that she catches the bus. Now churches have bus that'll go pick their members up. I do like that about church.
I don't know if mine, because I'm in a bigger area. I know they have a bus that'll take you from your car to the front door. And I'm not being funny. I don't know about because where I live is like spread out in Texas. So they have members everywhere. So it would probably be hard to do that. Hey, what's going on, Jigs? How you doing? Oh, you know what, man? We kind of, and then there's another situation. I didn't do the hall pass, but we may have to pass on the hall pass.
Right. Well, yeah, we can do the hall pass.
Okay. Well, let me tell y'all what this hall pass is, man. You know, when you're in school, if you get caught in the hall and you don't have a hall pass, the teacher's gonna get you. But we give out a hall pass in case anybody want to come up, hang out with us, ask your question right here now. We're not gonna say you have to, but if anybody want to come up, content creator, non-content creator, I have to see your avatar before I let you on the screen. But if you're not, if you have your bonnet on or your hair is not cut and you're a brother, we don't care. I'll let you have your avatar. When I say avatar, it'll look just like this. See how you can still see my voice talking, but you don't see me. Now you see me. Now you don't. I'm sorry, I got caught up in the game over here. But so let me see if we got it. Do I have any hall passes available? Let me see here. Hold on, let me see what the Nichols said. In my mind, there was an opportunity for someone that's blessed to bless that man. Woo! There was an opportunity for someone there that's blessed to bless that man. Again, the church have helped if they could, but it was public for a reason, and it was not to embarrass. Now, my question, and going back to Keisha's scenario, I wonder, was that one-on-one, or did the church know about it? Or was it just that church member and that man who needed his medicine?
Well, I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask, because for him to know, I mean, I don't know if the guy had said something to him about the church not giving him, the money for the medicine, or, if he just, I don't know if this was an open conversation. I seriously doubt they would have that as an open conversation, because you would have at least one angry church member.
I just know in the business I used to work in, one of the things we dodged like a plague, and that was bad press. We did not want any bad press. No news, no newspapers, nobody. Google, nobody. We didn't want nobody, because that's the quickest way to tarnish your image. And that's why I was wondering.
Did you drop the link?
Yeah, I'm about to. Oh, okay. All right, y'all, let me go ahead and do this real quick here. Hold on. All right, I got to do one thing real quick. I'm going to put it here. Y'all let me know if y'all can see this link. Somebody tell me, because I'm getting mixed things that some people can, some people can't. I know there was a issue with StreamYard. Let me drop my link here. And if y'all, Nichols, I know y'all in here, y'all or whoever. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. If you're able to click that link, let me know. If not, there's another way I can put it in here, because there's been an issue with dropping links lately. So anybody want to come up, there's a link. If you try to access the link and can't, please let us know. We're going to keep that up a couple more minutes. We are trying to keep these between an hour and 15 minutes. Wow, that was quick. I guess it worked. Man, coming to the stage, this is a couple. And that's all I'm going to say. Some people know them as their first names. Some people will say they're on a journey. Some people even say they're hot. I'm just going to go ahead and bring them up. What's going on? How y'all doing?
Hey, hi, Nick.
Hey, can y'all hear me good?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Hello, everyone in the chat. Hello, Rod and Keisha.
Hey.
Hey, are you?
I have an echo. I'm trying to stop it.
Oh, you're fine.
If you have a device on that's playing YouTube, like if you're playing YouTube on your computer or your phone and you're on StreamYard, just turn YouTube, not StreamYard, turn YouTube off, because you're going to hear us. It's going to be like you're watching this via YouTube.
Right. Okay. Let me stop that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's better. Thank you for helping me with that.
No problem. I've done it a million times. I just did it right when this live started. So.
All right. Look, I'm not ashamed to show who I am. I can show y'all who I am.
All right.
You're looking pretty.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Nice.
I'm in my work shirt, so that's why I didn't stay on. But okay. I'm glad you dropped the link. I wasn't going to say anything, but I just had to throw this out there. That's what I was saying in the chat. you have to be careful and realize what the enemy is doing. Mm-hmm. If he can turn you, see, he has a part and we have a part. A lot of people don't like to, they'd say, well, I ain't gonna give Satan no credit, whatever. Okay, that's fine. That's you. But this is just my opinion. My husband's not with me tonight. He's at work. But just in my opinion, you have to realize he come to steal, kill, and destroy, right? Mm-hmm. So in whatever way that he can do it, he's going to do it. He don't care if he use an old person, a young person, a homeless person, a needy person, a person with the medical issues, whatever he can use to take your attention off of God, he's going to do that. So our job is to make sure that don't happen. Whether you, sometimes you could be having a great day and all of a sudden you get frustrated. Just one person come in the door, change your whole tune, your whole mindset, your whole attitude, mess your whole day up, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, Satan is happy at that point. So what our job is to do is to make sure that we don't allow that to happen. Now, am I saying we perfect? No, because we fail all the time. We do. But as soon as you realize the failure, dust yourself off and try again, because God don't want us unhappy. Mm-hmm. He wants us happy. He cares about us. He loves us. His word says that he wants all of us to be comfortable, to have joy, not just happiness, joy. Mm-hmm. So anything that can take that from you, then that's what the enemy comes to do. It's called an adversary. He does a job. And I don't like to give him credit, but it's the truth. Mm-hmm. So, but once we realize that, that's when we have to grab ourselves and say, hey, God didn't put me here to be down and out, sad, frustrated, mad, or whatever. He didn't even send me to church to be looking at Rod's hat or whatever. You know, I'm supposed to be here giving him the praise and honor because I have my health, I have my strength, I have some money in the bank. May not be how much I want it to be, but I got some money in the bank. My children doing fine. You know, I got a job. All of these things that he has blessed us with, we should be so busy praising him for those things because we could not have those things. But our mind gets taken off of that quickly because somebody has a short dress on, or they left the tag on their shirt, or somebody has some old clothes on, or they had that on last Fourth Sunday, or whatever. That's something to distract you. It's a distraction. The cell phones or whatever. I'm not judging. Again, like they said, we're not judging, but I'm just telling you the purpose of these things to keep you from praising who your creator. Mm-hmm. Whoever it is that you're praising, like Rod said, it ain't got to be what I'm saying, but whoever it is, that's the job of the purpose of to kill, steal, and destroy. So once that happened, then hey, he go on to the next person.
Yep, I agree, and I think a lot of times people want to come to the table and just look. And say, like you said, Rod's hat. Now, back when I was growing up, I've had brothers, older brothers. I was a little young cat, a smaller case G, not a big G. And I remember the older guys would say, man, you sure are looking sharp today? But the guy wasn't necessarily looking sharp. It was just that compliment. And that guy felt so good the rest of the day, man. Mm-hmm. And now you don't really hear that. You hear, man, I can't believe you wore that to church, man. Mm-hmm. Girl, you sure you couldn't have got a shorter dress? Nobody's giving. Now, sometimes the compliments may not be warranted. I was raised that if you don't have nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all.
Right.
But I and the kids and Keisha, y'all, I gotta just take myself back. I don't know how many years, but I think I was about 6, 7. I remember my mama made me and my brother and I'm sorry, an Easter suit. Made it with a sewing machine. I ain't talking about made it at the store nowhere. And I don't know what color this thing was. I think it was like a peaches color. It didn't matter because the shirt and the tie we had on had 14 other colors in it. So surely it matched. And I promise you, man, we wore that suit every Sunday until next Easter. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And if somebody says something, I don't remember hearing it, but I keep saying in all these topics that I do, whether I'm doing it, Keisha and I on her channel, my channel, other live streams I may be in, I don't see us going back. What about you, Keisha? You see us going back to way church may have changed, but I don't think we're going back to what it was or what we think it was or think it should be.
No, I don't think it's going back. Matter of fact, it's gonna it's hey correct. It's gonna be yeah, it's definitely gonna involve a little more than what it is. Yeah.
Yep.
So
You got anything else you want to add, Mrs. Nichols?
The only other thing is that for us, I wish that we would focus more on him, because without him, we are nothing.
Mm-hmm.
With him, we're everything. And so a lot of times we walk away from him. He don't walk away from us. We have to get back to what we were here for, the purpose that we're here for. We get distracted and try to be something that we're not, somebody that we're not. And our focus is just, and our purpose is sitting there waiting on us.
Mm-hmm.
But we done got off track because we're so busy trying to be something else that we see of the world, instead of being who we were supposed to be for his purpose. And that don't mean, when I say that don't mean that I'm saying like, oh, you got to be jumping up and down and shouting and praising and saying hallelujah every day. I'm not saying that. But it's a lot of us could be way further ahead of in life on our journey. It ain't even got to be spiritual. I'm saying like as far as like the things that we should be doing, our careers. We got to go back to the Creator, see what path he wants us on. That's all I had to say. And thank you. Thank both of you for allowing me this time and opportunity to be on here. And again, not judging, just hopefully everybody received it how it was given. It wasn't given by, judgmental way.
No, I didn't really take it that way. And hopefully no one else took it that way. It was just, you came up, you spoke your opinion, you gave us some knowledge. And I thank you for coming up. And let me save this real quick. Just throw this up there. But I know, and none of what we said was scripted. And we got 9 real homies in the crib. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for being here. Hit that subscribe button. If you haven't done so, please give the video a thumbs up. So hopefully people will see that this wasn't a bashing. This was more of an opinionated topic. And I've never done a live stream where I didn't learn something. And I will tell y'all, when I was laying up in the hospital for 28 days, I don't remember wondering what nobody was wearing. I don't remember wondering how I was looking. Had I shaved or none of that. Mm-hmm. I remember saying God's name about 200 times.
Mm-hmm.
I remember praying at least 56 times when I woke up and before I went to bed and sometimes throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm saying is, when something go down, it depends on who you believe in. I'm a believer of God. So when something go wrong, first day I'm like, oh Lord, oh God, God help me, Lord, help me, God.
Mm-hmm.
But when everything's going right, and I'm talking about Rod, I'm talking about Rod to Rod. I'm just talking to y'all right now. Everything's going right. That's when we want to point fingers and laugh and snicker behind people's backs.
Mm-hmm.
But when everything is not right, them same people we calling for help to pray for me. Can you bring me something to eat? I don't like this hospital food. Oh Lord, I hope I get out here. I ain't gonna never do this again. And then 3 weeks later, we're doing the same thing that got us there.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little note from ROD from PBE, and I'm gonna check these comments. We're gonna get ready to raise up because we are.
All right. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you for coming up so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Now that was our hall pass. We will be giving out hall passes, and that's just to have people come up and give their opinion. You don't have to be a content creator. You can do it. Kizzy, speaking of Kizzy and Desmond, the Nichols Journey, check them out. They are content creators on YouTube. Great stuff. I was at the Mardi Gras the other day virtually. I was in New Orleans, not New Orleans. I was in Louisiana. Where was it? Baton Rouge?
I think it was Baton Rouge. I think. I don't know,
man.
I think it was Baton Rouge. I think it was.
They was somewhere.
But,
what you about to say?
No. I think she lives in Baton Rouge, so I'm pretty sure it was Baton Rouge.
Oh yeah, because
How you doing, Crap?
Yeah. One crafty speaking to MC Big Murphy said, "Oh, I'm sorry."
What did Big Murphy say?
The old school church is definitely dead.
Yeah. I don't think it's coming back either, Big Murphy.
A lot of old school is gone. We got 10 real people here. Please, thank you, man. If you got any questions, this is, oh man, I can't say the last call. That ain't really church like. I don't know, man. We're gonna get ready to get out of here. Now, speaking of which, I gotta bring this up, man. I know, y'all, this is the last thing I'm gonna bring up, but let's talk about, we started this off. Keisha said, are pastors judged too roughly? I'm just gonna say, in my opinion, I'd have been to church and they just said close the doors. I'd have been to church and they just said don't let nobody up out of here. And that man ran through the ringer, probably because he said how much money they needed. But was Marvin Sapp treated fairly? We got another guest at his hall pad. And y'all, I may have to, I'll talk to Just Ask It offline.
That's fine. You can.
Okay. All right. Coming to the stage. He got B's, and I ain't talking about the letter after A.
Yeah.
Letter before C, he got B's. I watched the short today. He was once stung 50 times. And here to tell us about it. Not tonight, though. He might, I don't know. Might be a testimony, but coming to the stage is Jegs Funk. Let me make sure I'm getting that right. I always just call him Jegs, but he J3. What's going on, man? How you doing?
The proper name. I'm live. I'm live.
I'm gonna clean it.
Hey,
That baby want his cookies. Get that baby his cookies.
Hey man, this point blank experience. This is an experience. We don't care about that. He all right.
No, he ain't all right. I tell him don't come here and bother me. As I said, I was eating when I popped in. But how you doing? Just asking, points blank, and everybody in the chat.
Hi.
I can't see the chat.
Oh, well,
My computer's acting up, so I'm on the iPad now. Now, what was the question?
Well, the whole thing is, has church changed over the years? It's a whole lot of topics, online church versus traditional church. Is church now a business? Do people focus on the clothes and the short skirts and the skinny jeans or skinny slacks, whatever they got on, or are people worshiping these days? That's my question.
How much time I got?
Well, I don't know. I'm on Just Asking time because there's a situation going on behind the scenes. So,
Just asking, give me a time limit.
oh, okay.
2 minutes.
Well, y'all can stay on, but okay, go ahead. Yeah, that's
okay. I see what you're saying. If we have to stay on, we'll stay on, and then if Just Asking have to take off, then we will.
Plain and simple, yes, church has changed. I was raised up in the church. Once I got to the age of wearing suits, I've been wearing suits and uniforms all the way until I retired. Yes, church has changed 100%. As you get older, you learn things about church. I don't want to make nobody mad, but some people have turned church into a business. It's not supposed to be about a business, but folks have turned it into a business. Mm-hmm. Some know and some don't know about me. And the point to, yeah, I'm a preacher. It might not seem like it, but yes, I am. And the thing with that is, I've been disappointed with church for a while now because there's people, how I say, turn into business. You read the word of God, but you change it to suit yourself. That's where I have a problem. I'm supposed to be here to help you, give you the word, lead, and guide. But when I turn it into a business, now, because I'm not staying in a 2-bedroom house anymore, y'all got me living in a mansion and y'all paying for it. I don't see that nowhere in the Bible. I never seen that in the Bible.
Right.
Me personally, well, won't be the first preacher that came at me. But anyway, that's another issue talking about pork. But The word says, give a tenth, your tithes, your offering. God wasn't talking about money. He wasn't talking about money. But we have got so money crazed now. The church world, the civilian world, the every world, it's all about money now. Everybody loves that money. Yes, some places you go and you can get church. You can get the word of God like you're supposed to. But a lot of places now, the preachers, the deacons, everybody else, they're living off everybody's money, giving them the wrong idea about paying tithes. Paying tithes is 10%. It wasn't 10% of your money. 10% of that field you go out there and you do. You them animals you get out there, 10%. You're supposed to feed the people, those that can't afford it. But I need me a jet first. We're gonna get my jet, because I gotta go all around the world and teach the people now. So y'all gonna have to tell me what's going on in the chat, because I can't see it.
Well, one crafty sister said right, J3, but I'm gonna throw a curve. Say Jay is this J3, not going against. I'm agreeing with what you're saying. Like the tithes is 10%, not money, but it could be your time where you go out in that field and harvest the field for the people that don't have money to eat. But if there's no program nor process in place, what field are they going to? That's part of it. I think a lot of that was taken away to get it over to that dollar bill.
In the word it says, if it is too far and you can't carry that stuff, you can't take the animals, you sell it. And you take the money to the storehouse. So what do you do with it then? You have money to purchase stuff to feed your people. But everybody don't look at it the way I look at it. That's why I say when it comes to Bible reading, you better get the oldest Bible you can. Even if it's this, they, thou, and though, that's the one you need.
And I want to say something real quick. And I like that Loving myself. Jays came up here. He apologized. Y'all, everything we're doing tonight is opinionated. This is not, no one's trying to convince or convert or none of that. It's just Rod's opinion, J3's opinion, Keisha's opinion, people in the comments opinion. We're not trying to convince anyone of anything. So please do not get upset with anyone on the panel nor get upset with anyone in the comments if they're speaking their mind, like this comment. But preacher are the most scammers ever. And in my opinion, and I'm gonna say the word niche. You hear niche in YouTube. But in life, the niches of life, there's scammers in every area. I mean,
I'll say some.
Yeah.
Everyone is not bad.
Right.
Everyone is not bad. Some. And where I left off at? Oh.
What?
Go ahead.
No, I do. I agree with you. Like, because I said the same thing. Like, I don't feel like you need a private jet to go speak the word. Why you can't get on the plane like everybody else? I don't feel like you that big where, you can't even, I don't care if you even sit in first class. I don't feel like you need a whole jet to go out to teach the word. I don't care if you got to get in your car and drive to wherever you're going. It don't take all that. You have some of them riding around in jets. They got I don't know if y'all know that Pastor Bling, where he preaches in the hood. Like, most of his congregation was poor and they're giving him all his money. He run around here with Rolexes and riding around in the Benz, pulling up in the hood in church, and he ended up getting robbed in the middle of the church. And yeah, because he was bragging. He go on there bragging, talking about how much money he's getting, and they are giving him the money. That's the crazy part. That's what I don't understand, the brainwashing. You cannot been brainwashed that hard where this man is spending your money. You barely got money to keep your lights on, and you giving it to him, and he going around buying Benzes and Rolls and Lexuses and I mean not what do you call Rolexes and stuff like that. That's crazy.
Now I want to jump on that real quick, Jay. Real quick. I'm thinking about these individuals that if you take a person that doesn't have any money or not used to anything or not used to much,
Mm-hmm.
and they get in a position of power. I'm not talking about pastors. I'm talking about just people. And they're put on a pedestal. Let's just say a corporate office. They come from the mud. They're put on a pedestal. They don't have, they don't have to do anything. Everything's done for them. They get accustomed to this stuff, this materialistic stuff. Can you ride and coach on this plane? I can, but if you got the whole, however many people in this congregation or in this corporate office that's doing everything for you, can you go back to not getting all this stuff? I'm just wondering. I'm asking. I'm just asking now.
It's the individual and how much faith you have in God, whether you can do it or not. If you're gonna so-called teach God's word, you gotta have more faith than anybody else.
Yeah, and it's called humble. Like humble yourself.
That's it. This other preacher asked me to come to this church. This happened to me twice. Down in Hinesville, I went and preached there, and they came out and gave me the offering. I said, "No, that's not." They gave me the offering. I said, so what I did was, I was hitting a little hard time. I needed some gas. It was over $300 some. I took $20 out there to get me some gas. I took the rest of the money, went and gave it to the dude, told him put it back in the offering. That was it. I had a lady that come to my house, and she said, "We forgot to give you the speaker's offering." I said, "I don't need that." The lady told me, "You ain't gonna stop my blessing." I know. Telling you put it back in the church, I'm stopping your blessing. Okay. And that's the way some people believe. Because I refuse to take the money, I'm stopping their blessing. But your blessing came when you offered to give the money. That's when you got your blessing. Not because I turned it down, because you freely gave. That's when you got your blessing. A lot of people don't understand that.
All right, loving myself, and you brought up a great point, Jazz. Loving myself said the church that my mother went to, the pastor was the biggest scammer ever. How you collecting tithes and offering lights off, and he got a house in Florida? How you collect? I'm assuming this is collecting tithes from people and offering whose lights are off, and you got a house in Florida.
Okay, I also want to talk about that now. Let's be serious. If the church is giving, what is the offering for?
That's a good question. What are the offerings for? Does anybody know what offering for?
Is it to pay the pastor?
Water, lights, gas. If you're building another building, if you're upgrading a building, that's what your offering is supposed to be used for.
Well, what's up with the building for then?
That's another point I'm getting to. We got some everything. Why you need a pastor's anniversary?
Yeah, he can go celebrate his own anniversary. No, I'm kidding. Lord, I'm kidding.
Some churches gonna give him a stipend each month anyway. But now it's the pastor's anniversary. Everybody coming with all the money, the gifts, and this and that. I'm not like that. I don't believe that's right. But I'm not everybody.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Jay.
No, I'm trying to put in the right words, not to offend.
Yeah.
But even though we were brainwashed, it went into the church too.
My question is, Jason, you brought this point up. If and along with this comment, if people are giving money and their lights are off, and this person got a house somewhere else and his lights is on, shouldn't, no pun intended, but should a light bulb go off and say, wait, man, my lights ain't on. I got to get my lights on too. And maybe find another church that is not so financially demanding.
Well, The Bible said where there's 2 or 3 gathered in his name, he should be in the midst. So if you in that church and you having hardship, you better think.
Hold up. We got a whole new chain of events here, y'all. No, the church lights were turned off. And they took the money and moved to Florida and bought a house and left the church lights off. The people without some lights, and they left and rolled out.
Do I really have to say something about that?
No, I think that's just some. I don't even want to use that word. That's just some frackanakle right there. That is.
And the truth to it is, if you got members, and the members love that church, and they doing what God said they're supposed to do or should do, you shouldn't have a problem paying the electric bill for the church, the water bill, the any kind of bill that the church have, official bill that the church have. But then again, majority of churches are 501c3.
Okay, what is that?
That's where they don't have to pay a bunch of taxes.
Yeah, they're nonprofit.
Okay.
They don't. Do they have to pay the light bill though? I thought they didn't have to pay a light bill.
I'm not sure whether they pay a light bill or not, but the point to it is, if they had to,
some of them,
right? Some do.
Yeah.
And the thing to it is, all that money that comes into church, you're supposed to take care of the people. But if you got people in there and they're not being taken care of, but you're getting offering, tithes, good, just give to be given, something wrong.
Well, it goes back to I think either the Nichols or Keisha said this. It's really that individual. Both of them else said. I even touched on it. How can you even look at a person that's struggling and knowing you have it? You can't help everybody. Let's get this straight.
Right.
But you can, on a good day, help one person.
Right.
On a good day. And I ain't talking about just because somebody say their light bill is turned off and it's $100, you may not have 100, but you can try to give them 5 or 10. And once you hand it to them, my mama told me a long time ago, I'm not walking you to the utility office. I'm not going to make sure you do it. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm giving you.
That's it.
It's up to you what you do with it.
That's it. If you pay that bill, you're good. If you don't pay that bill, you still gonna be good, as far as I'm concerned.
And we're looking at it here, y'all. We are at 1 hour and 28 minutes. I really don't want to run this much, not past 1.5 hours. And we may have to do, I don't know, a part 2. I don't think we really need to do a part 2. If people have comments that they didn't get a chance to say in the comments, please, there are comments after the live stream is over. Anyone that's watching the replay, definitely go and check out the replay. One thing I did want to point out is there is another co-host to the classroom, and her name is Callie. You may see her from time to time. Keisha tries her best, and I think Callie's cool. So Callie's now part of the show, man. And I may get killed after this is over, but you may see Callie the cat from time to time. Hey, just overlook it, man. Just overlook it, because we're here to talk about a topic and have a good time. But I want to thank Jegs for coming up here. J3GS Farms. He's also a content creator on YouTube. And no, it's not. He's a preacher, but he's over there growing things. He's over there.
And act a fool too.
Yeah, he act a fool. He beekeeping. I was about to say he beehiving, but he beekeeping over there. He tried to get me into it, but I did. No. And now I'm definitely not, after I saw that short today, by getting stung.
Okay.
Hey, believe it or not, if you get stung, if you got arthritis, it might help your arthritis.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, because you're going to forget about the arthritis. If you get stung 50 times, you're going to be hurting too bad.
No. Actually, I wasn't hurt. I got stung. I wasn't hurting.
Yes, and I couldn't understand my mother, God bless the dead, was hurt and didn't want to believe it. Man, sorry to hear that. Nichols said, laugh out loud. One Crafty said, great conversation. Thank you. Thank you for everybody being here. You gave me chills. Sorry about maybe talk about Jez. Jez, you gave loving myself chills with the. I don't know. But
the
hey,
50, probably the 50B. I don't know. Like,
No.
he got popped.
yes,
He all right.
you have to have vet and verify people who ask for help because folks can be scammers too. Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
But you know, really, if I spend a lot of time, the only thing I do with scammers is I keep my phone on do not disturb. Anybody else, I could probably smell them a mile away. I can definitely sense it after a 20 or 30-second conversation. But sometimes, man, believe it or not, sometimes I bless people that I knew were scamming me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I felt like somewhere in their life they needed something. And I don't do it on a daily, but yep, at Acapulco too. So y'all, we're gonna get ready. Keisha and I are gonna do our closing remarks, but before we do, James, you got anything you want to lead the people with before we get ready to close?
Hey, only thing I can tell you, we talking about God. You need to take and you need to serve God yourself. Don't do what the other man doing. Get your Bible, read your Bible, and see what the word said, and that's what you do. You serve God. Don't serve man.
Amen.
Speaking spiritually wise.
Amen. Well, James, thank you so much for coming up, man. Thank you, Kizzy, representing the Nichols Journey, for coming up. And we're gonna go ahead and Keisha and I are gonna close this out, James, and we're gonna get ready to get out of here, man.
Y'all have a good one now.
Finally got you on the experience, baby. Now I gotta get you back there. Finally got y'all. I've been trying so hard to get this man up here. He finally came. All right, y'all. Hey, tonight, man, we have witnessed. I always say at the end of anything I do live on Point Spank Experience, we witness greatness, and not greatness in the form of ride, but such knowledge that was dropped by Keisha, just asking for a friend. Knowledge from the people in the comments. That's how good a live stream is. Only as good as the comments. The people that are on the screen to me are just facilitators. Keisha and I are facilitating the conversation. Keep in mind, there's a banner going on. There will be a new episode, God willing. Did I put January? I hope I didn't. February 24th, next Tuesday. Tune in. I got that wrong. I need to change. It's not going to be on Point Blank Experience. I knew that was wrong. So let me take that down. The next one will be on Just Asking for a Friend's channel. It will not be on Point Blank Experience. It will be next Tuesday, 7:05 p.m. Central Standard Time. Unless something changes, we will let you know well in advance. Keisha, you got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Nope, you said it all.
Thank y'all for being here, man. And we're going to get ready to raise up and thank the people that accepted the hall pass and came up and had a chance to work with you guys. It was great. And until the next time, y'all, we're going to get out of here as I end each and every live stream. I hope you have a blessed and prosperous rest of your evening. I will be coming at you soon, dropping more heat, more fire, more knowledge, maybe even building something, but I don't want to lie. We talking about church tonight. I ain't building nothing. Anyway, y'all, shoot for the moon. If you don't make it, you'll be amongst the stars. I can guarantee you. With all that being said, much love. Class is now out. Y'all go have a good time.
Yes,
I don't care where you go. Gotta get up out of here. Much love, y'all. Peace.
Hey, yeah. I got the feeling we taking it all the way. I gotta get to the Hall of Fame. Been on the ground with a small delay. That's what it takes when you on your job. I'm working till everything fall in place. Like, nah, we not gonna fall today. Like, nah, we not gonna fall today. Like, oh, yeah, beanie up Scotty, we going up crazy. Yeah, me and my posse. When it's time to get it, we body to body. Cause bodies get left when we leave the party. Don't get me started. Don't make me get out of character. That make you turn to a target. Dearly departed. Making a scene like Martin. We up in the scores and the margins. Hey.